Bartleby, the Scrivener, A Story of Wall Street, written by Herman Melville, narrated by Geoffrey, Giuliano, and the Ark.
Icon Audio Arts.
Welcome to a whole new world of classical literature celebrating the art of writing. There is a very special category reserved for what we generally agree to be stories and tomes which are a significant cut above, which elegantly describe the human condition, winding their way, word by word, chapter by chapter, through a delicate web of beautiful storytelling, as to remain untouched by even time. These are, by definition, the classics, when the synergy of truth, intelligence, and insightful description come together in a tale which moves one emotionally, inspires, and educates. These works are indeed classic, to be so in tune with one's literary powers as to create, often from imagination, a story full of emotion, tender at heart, overflowing with some illumined truth from deep inside, so that it can be universally recognized and relived by the eyewitness. That, too, is a classic. Together, we go far beyond the recommended reading list of the studious English language major to bring you what is the elemental soul of the art of the written word, so that you may, in your own way and time, enter into the story laid out before you, to be forever changed and just that much more enlightened. That, then, is the true power of classical literature, and our humble attempt at its presentation herein as an audiobook to remember. Welcome. Shakespeare, Herman Melville used to say, was a sort of god of literature. High praise indeed, and from an authoritative source. In 1848, at the age of 29, Melville wrote of the bard, he's full of sermons on the mount, and gentle, yes, almost as Jesus. I take such men to be inspired. I fancy this Shakespeare in heaven ranks with Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael. And if another Messiah ever comes, he will be in Shakespeare's person. Melville did not issue a formal declaration of his religious belief or lack thereof, but it seems fair to say that he was consumed with the fundamental issue of humanity's capacity for good and evil, and that this obsession sprang at least in part from his upbringing as the third of 8 children raised by parents of Dutch extraction in New York. By the time he came to write his allegorical Bartleby the Scrivener in 1853, Melville seemed to be principally concerned with humanity's propensity for chosen isolation. Barriers of all sorts are pervasive in the story, which appropriately enough takes place on Wall Street. The character spends extended periods in what he calls a dead wall revelry. He spurns convention, declines the offer of hospitality, and eventually dies confined in a jail cell. Could it be that Melville was exploring the theme of humanity's proclivity for alienation, fully a century before it was taken up by Samuel Beckett and his fellow school of theatrical nihilists? Melville once explained to Hawthorne the possibility that God himself cannot explain his own secrets. He worked progressively from the inherited faith of his childhood to take what might be called a socialist humanitarian view of the world. There are many things that are quite ambiguous to be found in both of his printed words and his private remarks.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?